Welcome to our ReadyATS Deep Dive podcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we're doing a highly specific, but I think critical, deep dive into the UK property market.
Yes, specifically the SME sector.
Exactly. We are strapping in, really, to examine the talent turbulence and the, well, truly crushing cost pressures hitting UK real estate SMEs as we head into late 2025.
It's an absolutely essential focus because, the headlines often paint a slightly rosier picture.
Cautious optimism, rising investment volumes.
Precisely. But that often conceals a hidden crisis. We're not talking about the big national chains here.
No, this is about the 99%.
The small, independent agencies, the backbone of the local market, really.
So our mission today?
It's to quickly unpack their recruitment and financial pain points and crucially look at some novel, scalable solutions, things that don't need huge upfront capital.
And when you dig just below that surface optimism, you hit this startling statistic, don't you? The one that anchors this whole conversation. Employee attrition.
Oh, absolutely. Across the sector, it averages, 30 to 35%, which is already high.
But it gets worse.
It does. Zoom into those high-pressure client-facing roles, sales, lettings.
The front line.
Yes. Attrition there is escalating to a shocking 46%.
46%. Nearly 1 in 2.
Nearly 1 in 2 frontline agents leaves every single year. Just think about that.
The energy, the cost.
Imagine the owner spending weeks training someone, getting them up to speed.
Only for them to walk out before they've even really started contributing properly, say, before the 90-day mark.
Exactly. That level of churn is, it's crippling for client continuity, for institutional knowledge.
It just feels unsustainable.
Yeah.
So what's the way out? You're suggesting a fundamental shift in how these agencies staff themselves.
Precisely. The core idea is converting those expensive fixed HR costs into flexible variable costs.
Okay, how?
This involves adopting, say, the pay-as-you-grow model PAYG technology.
Like ReadyATS, the freemium applicant tracking system.
Exactly like ReadyATS, and then augmenting their own, often limited capabilities with managed recruiting services.
Which is where something like InsideTalent comes in.
Spot on. Platforms like that.
That sounds like quite a powerful combination.
Yeah.
And the research suggests this isn't just theory, right? It could actually make a difference.
Well, the potential is significant. We're talking about potentially reducing effective attrition by maybe 20 to 30%.
That's huge. That could be the difference between just surviving and actually, growing in this climate.
It really could.
Okay, let's start by unpacking that acute pain point then, that 46% frontline attrition. Why is it hitting so hard right now? Is it just burnout?
Burnout's part of it, sure, but there are systemic issues too. It really comes down to market volatility and that intense commission-based stress.
Right. Market dips slightly, their income drops immediately.
Exactly. So they start looking elsewhere. But the consequence, you see, it's felt unevenly across the sector.
How so?
Well, the large agencies, they have processes, scale. Their institutional turnover might be around, say, 13.6%.
Still high, but manageable, perhaps.
Manageable, yes.
Yeah.
But for small firms, their turnover hits 18.2%. And every single loss is felt much more acutely.
They lose a key agent.
And they lose irreplaceable client relationships, local knowledge. It hurts more.
And their ability to even withstand those losses is being hammered by what we're calling the triple threat of cost pressures.
Yes, this triple squeeze on their margins.
Let's tackle the first one, the legislative squeeze. Government-driven costs. These are unavoidable, right?
Entirely unavoidable. Threat number 1, employment costs. We're seeing that significant 6.7% minimum wage hike.
Taking the 21-plus rate up to 12.21?
Correct. And at the same time, employers' national insurance contribution is up to 15%.
From 13.8%.
Yes. And crucially, the threshold for contributions is lowered to just £5,000.
Wow. Okay, so if I'm running a small agency, maybe 5 or 6 junior roles, what does that actually mean for my bottom line?
For an SME, that combination, it can inflate the overall payroll burden by up to 10 to 15%, pretty much overnight.
That's a huge chunk. Where does that money come from?
Well, that's the problem. It has to be found somewhere. Often it shrinks the budget for other things, training, decent software, maybe marketing.
Which makes you wonder how they can even afford traditional recruitment agencies.
Exactly. Charging £7,000, maybe £10,000 for a single hire. It often just isn't feasible.
Which explains why they struggle to hire effectively in the first place.
Ah.
Okay, that's threat 1. Threat 2 is just a rising cost of keeping the lights on.
Operational expenses, yes.
Hmm.
We're talking escalating prime office costs up at 0.7% in Q2 this year.
Plus business rates, utilities.
And those mandatory non-negotiable portal fees. Rightmove, Zoopla, they have to pay them.
Their overall...
Overall operational expenses are growing around 3.4% year over year.
So fixed costs rising faster than potential revenue growth in many cases.
It just squeezes that margin for error right down to zero sometime.
And the third threat, this one feels almost like an internal bleed, the self-employed broker drain.
Ah, yes. This is where the top talent, the real rainmakers, are being lured away.
With tempting offers.
Very tempting. The growth in this self-employed model is stunning, actually. It captured about 1.8% market share in 2024.
Which sounds small, but the growth rate.
31% year-over-year growth. That's rapid.
And they draw agents in how?
Higher commissions, sometimes up to 80%, and that flexibility to work their own hours, be their own boss.
Which traditional high street agencies just can't compete with directly on commission.
Not without fundamentally changing their entire business model, no. It's a massive challenge.
So it creates this vicious cycle, doesn't it? High competition, shrinking margins, talent leaving, and then the sheer complexity of hiring adds another layer.
Absolutely. The regulatory overload.
We're talking AML checks.
Anti-money laundering, yes.
Yeah.
GDPR compliance, energy performance certificate mandates.
And that's critical for the hiring process itself.
It is. Every new hire needs specific, often quite costly training and verification before they even start bringing in revenue.
So it slows everything down.
Significantly. And increases the complexity for a small business owner who's probably acting as the HR manager, the finance director, and the top salesperson all rolled into one.
It's no wonder SMEs are reporting internal sourcing failure rates of 20 to 30%.
They're outgunned, overworked, and under-resourced.
Okay, so if the fixed costs of staff and recruitment are becoming unbearable, the pivot has to be towards variable expenditure.
That's the crux of it.
Which brings us back to pay as you grow. But why should a cash-strapped owner trust a freemium tech model? Isn't it just another thing to set up?
That's a fair point. The appeal isn't just the freemium entry point, though. It's that it perfectly mirrors the cash flow reality of real estate.
Transactions are variable.
So your recruitment tool should be variable, too. PAYG converts those heavy annual software licenses or big upfront costs into usage-based costs.
How does that work in practice with something like ReadyATS?
Well, it scales. You get freemium access for the basics, job postings, managing applicants, AI parsing of CVs, maybe.
Which already saves time.
Definitely. Then it only scales up to a modest transactional line fee, let's say $75 a month, when you're actively hiring and onboarding new people.
Ah, so it directly counters those fixed cost hikes we talked about, the 6.7% wage increase, the 15% NI hit.
Exactly. By avoiding expensive traditional fixed fees for software they might only use intensely a few times a year, SMEs could potentially save 30 to 40% on their core HR and recruitment tech stack.
And you mentioned speed earlier. How does PAYG Tech help with that 46% churn risk?
The technology itself helps. Good systems have things like AI-driven candidate matching built in.
Reducing time to fill.
By up to 40%, some studies suggest, when an agent walks out, you need a replacement in weeks, not months.
Otherwise, the pipeline just dries up.
Completely.
Yeah.
Plus, having scalable tools means the agency can adapt quickly to market swings, hire rapidly for the spec surge.
Then pause spending during a slow patch in winter.
Exactly. Flexibility is key.
Okay, that makes sense for the tech side. What about the human side of finding candidates? That brings us to managed recruiting services.
Yes. If the agency owner is flat out selling properties, they often lack the time, maybe even the expertise, to run a really effective recruitment campaign.
So this is where they delegate that sourcing function.
Precisely. Think of it like RPO-lite. Recruitment process outsourcing, but tailored for small businesses.
What does that actually involve?
It means delegating the really intensive work, the sourcing, the screening, the initial interviews to external experts.
In the benefit.
It can reduce overall recruiting costs by another 30 to 40% for SMEs compared to maybe using expensive traditional agencies for every role.
And crucially, it helps them find better people.
Yes, it boosts fill rates maybe by 30–40% and retention by around 20%
Yeah.
because these services tap into specialized talent pools.
Pools a local agency might not even know exist.
Exactly. They have a wider reach, better tools,
So it's not just about speed, it's getting the right person who's more likely to stay.
and importantly, these services provide market intelligence.
Understanding what packages actually attract people now.
Spot on. They know the current compensation norms, what benefits matter. They can help craft an appealing agent package.
Which directly helps fight that lure of the independent broker model.
It's the direct counterpunch, fighting back against that 31% EOY growth in self-employed agents by offering a compelling employed value proposition. It's not just about the commission percentage.
Okay, now let's connect the plumbing. Section 3, quantifying the synergies. How does this integrated stack work together? ReadyATS for the tech, InsideTalent, say, for the sourcing.
It creates a seamless, flexible hiring system. ReadyATS provides that freemium ATS foundation, managing candidates, compliance workflows, maybe free job postings, the AI parsing we mentioned.
The engine room.
Exactly. Then InsideTalent or a similar service provides the expert human layer, the outsourced sourcing, often white labeled so it feels like it's coming from the agency itself.
Integration with big job boards too. Reed, Zoopla.
Essential. Plus, critically structured retention checks.
The 30, 60, 90-day checks.
Yes, with proper service level agreements. This helps catch potential issues, mishires, before they become another attrition statistic, stopping that 46% churn early.
All right, we've seen the pain, we've seen the potential solution. Let's look at the financial relief. For you, the listener, perhaps running a typical, say, 12-staff agency, hiring maybe 4 people a year due to churn. What does this shift actually save? Let's get into the hard numbers.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. This is the potential aha moment.
Under the traditional model first, fixed costs, maybe using agency sometimes.
Under that model, relying on high agency fees, time-consuming internal sourcing, the total annual recruiting and replacement cost is roughly, and this is conservative, £90,000.
90,000 pounds. How does that break down?
The vast majority, perhaps £80,000, is actually productivity loss, while roles sit vacant or new hires ramp up. Plus, maybe $7K, $10K direct spend on job boards, agency fees here and there. It's a massive, often hidden, fixed drain.
Okay, huge number. Now, contrast that with the integrated variable cost solution we've discussed.
Using ReadyATS and a managed service like InsideTalent, the total cost drops dramatically. We estimate it comes down to approximately £66,000 per year.
66,000.
Well, the direct spend is much lower and more efficient. Minimal software costs maybe £1,400 for the ATS as it scales, plus around £14,800 for high-quality managed sourcing for those 4 hires.
Okay, so the direct costs are much lower.
But the real difference is the reduction in that productivity loss. Better, faster hiring reduces that loss down to around £60,000 instead of £80,000.
So the bottom line, by converting fixed to variable outsourcing expertise, the net saving is
approximately £24,000 annually for that typical agency.
£24,000. That's significant.
It's a potential 3.8 times return on investment, just from changing how you approach recruitment.
And that money saved can go straight back into the business, perhaps into retaining the existing staff.
Absolutely. Better salaries, bonuses, training, which further combats the attrition crisis. It creates a virtuous cycle.
The key performance indicators, the KPIs, should reflect this efficiency gain too.
Definitely. We'd expect to see time to fill drop by maybe 20 to 30%, vital for business continuity.
Cost per hire.
That should drop significantly too, perhaps 25 to 40%.
And the crucial one, stability, retention.
First 90-day retention, getting people through that critical early period, we'd expect that to increase by 15 to 25%.
Meaning those expensive hires actually stick around and become productive.
Exactly. And if this approach were adopted more broadly, you could see overall sector churn rates potentially lowering by as much as 25%.
A huge potential impact.
So the final strategic takeaway really for UK real estate SMEs listening is this. Variable cost hiring isn't just nice to have, it's becoming essential for survival.
Convert fixed to variable.
Yes. To insulate your margins from those mandatory wage and rate hikes, and you must augment your limited internal HR capacity.
With professional managed services.
To effectively combat that broker drain that's actively poaching your best talent.
It seems pretty clear. As we look ahead, the market itself isn't shrinking, is it? The UK real estate market is forecast to keep growing.
Yes, the projection is around 5.3% compound annual growth rate through to 2030. The opportunity is there.
But only for agencies that can actually staff up efficiently and keep their people.
Precisely. Which leaves us with, I suppose, one final, maybe provocative thought for you listening.
Go on.
Given these high stakes, the growth potential, but also the current financial squeeze, how quickly must small agencies adopt these flexible, variable cost tech solutions? Before that, talent loss becomes completely irreversible and actually forces contraction, despite the market opportunity.
A critical question indeed. Food for thought for every agency owner out there.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.